How to destroy your self-limiting belief? This is a hard one because usually this belief stems from your childhood. It's been ingrained so deeply that you didn't even realize it throughout your adult life. So I have quite a number of problems, right? I am socially anxious, I have acne, low confidence, just things like that. But I'd like to cover more about my socially anxious part. So back when I was a kid, I think my mom was a little bit too overprotective. Like she didn't really let me like get me into like social situations. She would always like hold me back. Like she always won't let me speak to a stranger, things like that. Which currently it makes me very, not say very, but it makes me kind of socially anxious in front of strangers especially. So I'm not saying that it's a fault, but it's more of like the way she brought me up, right? And this mentality is definitely ingrained in me and there's no helping it. And if you don't like recollect and reflect in this, and if you don't even believe that this belief is not true, because not because this belief in a sense they are not yours, right? They are sort of like grown and ingrained into you by your parents, by your teachers. So I'm not saying to blame your parents or whatever, but just have this insight that it's not your fault that you have this belief. So once you have that, we can finally get started to sort of treat this. So the first tip is to really do the opposite of what your brain is telling you to do. So when I first said I was socially anxious, right? So what is the first thing that I should start doing? This is why I start this YouTube channel, to really get very, very comfortable speaking in general, because I was not even comfortable in speaking at all. So I really want to improve my day-to-day conversations with my friends. Like I want to be much more fluent, much more fluent with the way I talk, and don't really have a lot of like weird pause and breaks when I try to speak. So yeah, that's why I start this channel, to really build up the confidence and to train and try to destroy my self-limiting belief. Like, and even as I am doing this video right now, right, my limiting belief is telling me that you can't do YouTube. You are shit. You can't speak for shit. You're just gonna keep stuttering and stammering and stuff. I mean, yes, I definitely do stutter. I do stammer. I do slip up at times when I speak in front of the camera. But the more I keep putting in the work, the more I just keep doing this video, the quieter the voice becomes. And one day I think I will probably never really get rid of this self-limiting belief, but I can silence it to the point that I can just do whatever the hell I want. So that's like the main point. So the second thing to also take note is to be contemplative and to reflect about this self-limiting belief. I know this is not like the sexy truth or answer. You want like the quick tips, the 7 ways to destroy your self-limiting belief. But of course, it's never that sexy. And really, you need to be contemplative and you really need to journal down about where these thoughts come from. Like, is it your parents or friends, or is it bullying that lead you to this situation? What caused you to feel like this? And most of the time, you will realize it's actually not entirely your fault that you are this way. It's because of how you have grown up. But also, I'm not saying that you should just push the blame away. Like, oh, it's my friends, it's my life, it's like my parents that did this to me. No, it's not. When you are older, now your life is in your own hands. You have your own responsibility and you have to take ownership of your own life. So yeah. So once you have reflected, you have journaled, now you can actually move on, right? So yeah. So I think that's kind of all I have for this video. the two tips is to really do the opposite of what your brain tells you to do. And secondly, to contemplate and reflect, to think about these self-limiting beliefs instead of just like pushing them away. Give yourself some time, and then you will find that you have more mental bandwidth to deal with other things in life. So that's all I have for today. Thank you and have a great day.